Hey guys, in today's video we're talking about Tom Green, the 534 600k midfielder from GWS. Hope you enjoy. It's really weird. His name's kind of Green and then they've got another Green, but they're not spelt the same. So when the commentator's there, it's easy for them, but try and get them to spell it. They get confused, right?
I don't know how easy it is for the commentators, especially when we're talking about a particular female. For the orange team, two greens on the orange team. I think she's got some sort of colorblind thing going on. But when it comes to words, though, yeah, she's like word blind. But look, it is what it is. Yeah, look, Tom Green, he really was an interesting one. I got to admit, I love Toby. I think Toby's a sensational player. But Tom, I don't know. You just look at Tom and you look at a baby Clary, right? A Clayton Oliver 2.0. And he just, I don't know. He's young. He seems like I have a baby face. But when you look at those muscles, you sort of get intimidated. You're like, okay, no, you look young, but not that young. Like, geez.
Yeah, I guess kind of like Clary as well. You look at Clary draft photos, it was a chunky boy. Tom Green kind of was like that as well, I think. And for a guy that was always linked to Richmond as in the trade period, he's really kind of broken out in GWS's team last year.
I think you're very correct about that. And the way he started the season last year just really gives you a lot of sort of optimism of what this guy can achieve. I know I was really nervous last year, the way he started. I'm like, oh boy, do I have to get this guy in? Like, I didn't have him in my team, but it really made me nervous with the way he started things off. And then things just sort of didn't go as planned. And Leon Cameron, he's a really weird operator, man. Like, I don't know what it is, but things were really weird with GWS players. I don't know. Maybe with him gone, people's no GWS player policy will really change, I think, this year.
Yeah, I think Tom Green started last year at like 350k or something, and then really projected and pushed those players who picked him early up to the top 100 rankings, I think, as well. A lot of those guys kind of started him that super cheap price, had some monster scores early. We'll talk about how high his ceiling is, but there was a 164, I think, in the first game. And that's crazy for a guy for that price. So does he really do something like that similar in 2023? I guess that's what we're going to talk about today.
That is 100% correct, because we're here talking about Tom Green, and this is his player review where we're deep diving into what makes him tick. And I think it's clear what makes him tick is his role in the CBAs, right? In the center bounce, not as a ruckman, but as an actual midfielder. Because there were games where he was playing as a ruck. Like, it's ridiculous. The sort of things that GWS do to their players. You just hope that Kingsley has a bit more sense, I think, moving forward.
Yeah, I guess kind of their ruck situation was so dire anyway. Like, Bruce has a body of chalk. You know, all the other guys can get 2 or 3 games in before they get injured. But, hey, someone has to play there. Bit of Marlon Pickett style. Just throw whoever in. As long as they can jump and grab a ball, then that's all you need.
Yeah, they got Flynn as well, who I thought Flynn was very serviceable. You know, he was great. They've got weird selection issues over there at the Giants, but as long as Green is playing in and under where he is meant to be and where he thrives with his contested ball winning clearances, I think he's in for another great season, especially as the stars start to align for him as a couple of stars leave.
Yeah, definitely. Kind of, they've had a few players leaving. Obviously, we've spoken about Taranto and Hopper leaving in our kind of trade period overview video. But those guys, alongside a few other players moving around, really have kind of set Tom Green as being that main guy as the ruck distributor, I guess, is the way to say it.
Yeah, he's well and truly shaping up to be the key guy in and under. You know, you got another preseason into Finn Callahan as well, of course. You still got the likes of Cogs, Cornelio, and of course, Kelly. But in terms of, you look at the size and the ball-winning capacity, you know, Kelly and Cornelio definitely are more on the outside. So a lot more responsibility will be entrusted on the big ball that is green to be well and truly in and under. And I can imagine that there'll also be some time for Callahan as well to really pinch it in there. But I think it's clear as day that green will be the primary ball winner over there.
Yeah, definitely. So in 2022, we saw a jump of about a 20-point average, which is fantastic. Hopefully we get something like that this year. Had some monster scores in there, like we said, with a high score of 164, which for a midfielder, and we're getting him at 530k, if you can do something similar again, hey, presto, there's our money. He did have some other scores of 147 and 125. So we know kind of that 164 wasn't a fluke, which is fantastic for us there. That, hey, we could be like a Rory Laird type where we get 115, 120s every week. And for a guy who is coming in at that kind of 530k price, we want him to be a keeper, right?
Exactly. We want him to be a keeper. And the guy's priced at 97. So, and with the elevated magic number this year of 5.5, if this guy is able to pump out, that 164, the 125, a 147, whatever it may be, being at least 30, 40, 50 points above what he's priced at, he's going to absolutely skyrocket in price like nobody's business. And if you haven't got him come round 3, well, he's going to be really quick to, I think, soar out of reach. And then rather than paying 534k for him, you're going to be paying around 600k for him. So it's definitely much. I think there's a lot of upside, so much upside, both in terms of scoring and in terms of his value.
Yeah, definitely. In 2022, he was averaging 108 up to the bye, but then after the bye, he did fall off to an 85. Obviously, GWS had some coaching issues. New people came in. They really fell off, and we saw that by their ladder finish, second last on the ladder or third last there. So that kind of explains that a little bit. Hopefully, that doesn't happen as much this year. But if his scoring does fall off, you just jump off the ship before it kind of crashes that way. He was susceptible to some pretty low scores last year. He did get a 55, a 58, a 50, and a 49 in there. So that's something not great, but maybe we can attribute that to kind of the team changing a little bit as well. If he's forced to play ruck for half a game or go for jumps, that kind of thing, it's probably not great for his scoring. He hasn't averaged 100 either, which probably, versus some other options in the midfield. So we look at a Tom Mitchell, for example. He's got that history of scoring that kind of is the differentiates us between the two picks. Do you go for the mature age guy that has the history of scoring versus the young breakout player who maybe we don't know exactly what we get, but does have potentially a higher scoring ceiling?
Not only that, but a guy like Tom Mitchell is even cheaper at like 528k as opposed to the 534. So you could even be saving a bit of money on this selection. Of course, there's not much difference in 6,000k, $6,000, but it still doesn't change the fact that he is there at this price point compared to other players like an LDU or a Warner, for example, that you are again banking on having breakout seasons, averaging over 105. You want them to be averaging closer to like 110, really, for them to be genuine keepers in the midfield. And you just feel like, having a role that is where you're going to be the primary number one midfielder, like by all reports are saying that he's absolutely training down the house and he's really embracing that extra midfield responsibility in the guts this year. These are the things that you want to hear, things that you want to see, because being entrusted in the midfield to win the ball out to the likes of, those stars that I mentioned before, you can see this guy, if he's able to maintain that pre-buy average, he could well and truly, even if he was to drop a couple of stinkers, he would still have made you money for you to upgrade him to someone who's definitely going to be top 8 mid. I'm not one of those people that are really strict in you don't trade out your primos. If it means that you're able to trade out to a higher caliber primo, then I think he would have done a sensational job for his price.
Yeah. So if you keep Tom Green, Oliver or Laird kind of drop in price, you can always sideways them that way. the one thing about GWS is we'll kind of stress as well is that he's their clearance beast. He's their number one target from the ruck. He's the guy that's going to be getting those contested possessions for them. You look at Cornelio, we've done the review on him, does much better in the ruck rover role. Kelly does quite well as an inside mid, but also as on the wing, someone who can run up and down. Tom Green's going to be the guy that's going to pass them the ball and distribute it that way. So not only getting points from, the contested possession, but also the scoring chains as well.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously, it's a new team, new coach, new system. Kingsley coming over from Richmond, being very well respected, and he's really buff and tank himself, isn't he? My goodness. So look, there's a bit of uncertainty in how Richmond are going to play their game. How GWS are going to play their game, whether or not it's going to be a Richmond style of football moving forward. So again, but you'd expect though that for Green, he's going to play in the midfield. He shouldn't be played anywhere else. I think it's clear as day to everybody that his best position is in the guts.
Yeah, definitely. Is he in your team, Joe?
He is at the moment. I know we mentioned Mitchell. He's also in my team. So yeah, I'm trying to find as much value as I can. And I think Green, is just one of the most clear examples of value, responsibility, role, price, and he's shown that he can score. So yeah, I think he's got it all. What about you?
He's been in and out at the moment, just kind of fiddling out structure and things like that. If I decide to run two cheaper mids, he's definitely in there alongside Tom Mitchell. There's not much downside in the pick, barring he just hasn't done it before. So, as we've spoken about before, if he scores well, we can upgrade him. If he scores even better, we can keep him the whole year. So, and that's an advantage. You'll get someone who's a keeper at 520K versus other people that are spending 630, 640, 650 on.
Yeah, I just feel like this guy is capable of averaging 110 and he's priced at 97. So it's not like I don't think it's really overpaying for him at all. Really, I just think the upside is there, and like you say, it's no real risky proposition if you're going to be guaranteed playing in the guts and you're going to be the number one mid. And for someone who's such a contested ball winner, I think priced at 97 is very generous. Yeah,
definitely. All right, guys, remember, if you like our content, like, share, and subscribe. We've also got our group video that I'm going to link down in the description. Check it out. You can win some awesome prizes. Any final words, Joe?
No, guys, please make sure that you've got that notification bell based to alert you of all of our videos. We've got heaps and heaps of videos to come, more player profiles like this. And I'll also have a video coming up soon on some of the things that I learned, some tips on how I did last year, finishing in the top 120, and some of the wisdoms that I learned from last year that held me in good stead that I'm going to share with you guys for this year. So please stay tuned, guys.
That's a bit of a spoiler, Joe.
What? These guys are subscribed. Oh. They want to know what's to come. We're here for these guys, mate.
That's true. Remember, guys, we do the hard work so you don't have to. Bye for now.